o'clock, so I think that we can officially start. Hello to everybody who is watching us. We are still getting more and more people here. We are 10 and it's rising more and more. It's not so easy to say good afternoon because for someone it's good morning and good evening. My name is Veronika Gregorkova. I am the director and the founder from Lean Institute Slovakia and Czechia, and in parallel, industrial performance manager in one of the Bell Group plants in Slovak Republic. And that's how I met 2 years ago Yannick, who is the industrial performance director of the whole Bell Group. For sure, you know at least one of the products of the Bell. Maybe some of you know the Maretsu, Gervais, Vashkiri, and so on. So very famous product. And I must say, I'm glad that Yannick accepted our invitation to come here with a speech, and especially about the topic of digital. What I can say, I appreciate on Yannick that he's looking at digital in a very good point of view, that digital is not for digital, but digital is for people. And I'm sure that Yannick will tell us something more about it. Just for those who are in a first session, please, you are able to ask any questions in the right side of this session in a Q&A. So please write there anything you would like to ask Yannick, if he will be able to answer the questions during his speech or after the speech, you can chat with him. Have a nice day, and Yannick, stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Veronika. So good morning to good afternoon to all. So thank you, Veronika, for having invited me in this session for a half an hour presentation that will cover how we are looking at digital at Bell Group and how we are connecting lean management and digital. I would like maybe first of all, as Veronika already briefly introduced the company, but to give you a few words about Bell Group. Bell Group is a company that is employing more than 11,000 people, employees, 3.4 billion euro revenue. And we are a French company in the cheese and fruit business. With three major product categories: dairy, which is a cheese, the fruits, and also plant-based products. We have around 29 operations worldwide. And one of our, let's say, key mission is really to be a champion for healthy food and responsible as well for all. That's why you can see that we are involved in a lot of programs connected to support people in some countries with the Bell Foundations, or to work on the CSR, which is at the end how we can reduce our environmental footprint. The products are here. So three categories. On the left, the cheese. In the middle, the food product, and on the right, the plant-based. And when we look at our growth model, it's really a growth with two streams: responsibility and profitability. We have at Bell Operations, which is belong to 4 levers that we are really working on to improve the image of the brands, to innovate in new product, but also invest in new product categories, new channels, and also new geographies. I'm going now to go to industrial and lean management. So industrial, it's 7,600 people. We are implemented in North America, Europe, Africa, Middle East, and Asia. And one of the key elements of the Bell manufacturing footprint, it's really about certification, because as you can see, we have 50% of the factories that are certified ISO 14000. And we are really supporting the business in operation with 5 key challenges and enabler, such as working about the naturality of the product, reducing our impact on our overall CO2 impact, working on the recycled packaging, but also working on accessibility and affordability. When we look at what we have been doing on lean management, we have been working since around 10 years on lean management, and what we have trying to do has been really to set up a model which is very much people-oriented and people-centric. And what you see here on this slide, these are elements that we are strongly believing in. And there is one which is extremely important to me, is that when we look at lean management and operation excellence in overall, this is for us much more about people and standard than tools and methodology. So that's why we have been working very much to improve and to train our people in Bell factories. There is a second topic which is important, and you will see later on, which will be connected to our digital roadmap, which is about accelerating the skills of our employees on problem solving and DMIC. So today we have around 200 people certified green belt in the company, and around 50 people certified black belt. So we are strongly investing also in the development of green belt and black belt certification. And we are also developing an organization where there is a strong empowerment and autonomy of operators and employees. And when we are really trying to promote a continuous improvement and a zero waste mindset. The way we track performance is based on what we call an SMQ-CDE model: safety, moral, cost, quality, delivery, and environment. And all the performance is tracked on a worldwide basis on those 6 elements, where, of course, safety is first. And we have been improving quite significantly our results among the last years. Today, when we are looking at our challenges from a manufacturing standpoint and how do we connect it with our lean program, in fact, we have seen that basically there are 4 different areas in terms of challenges that we need to address. The first one is maybe the most important one, and this is how we can apply common manufacturing standards everywhere in the world. So we have worked quite extensively to standardize our management processes and the way we lead and drive performance across the world. And we have also worked a lot to set common tools and methodologies when we are addressing lean management topic. As we have 29 operations, it is extremely important to get also a standard process that will allow best practice sharing across factories, that will also support resolutions of problem through best practice across factories and across departments inside the plant. Second challenge, it's connected to flow management. This is the capability we have to manage things, including from a lean standpoint, from an end-to-end perspective, and not only purely a manufacturing side. And we are looking at in this area our flow simplification, but not only. I think that there is a big challenge in FMCG companies to improve agility and flexibility of operations, and also to be able to manage the complexity, because again, in fast consumer moving goods, the complexity and the number of SKUs is also something that we need to manage and to optimize. The third challenge is connected to people. We have really worked to develop learning organization principle, but also ensure that we get a very strong level of empowerment and ownership of our operators everywhere in the world. And therefore, we have also developed some leadership management tools, and also one very important topic that sometimes we forget is how to coach people to improve their skills and their competencies. So you see that we have one very clear element on standard, one clear element on how to optimize agility and flexibility, but also how to develop the performance and the autonomy that we will need for the future. The last element is about the operational efficiency that we are measuring through very, I would say, detailed information and indicators to measure how we are creating value, and also how we can improve the competitiveness of our cost with a very strong mindset of waste elimination. So here we are really summarizing the 4 challenges that we have, but I would say that those challenges are not specific to us. They are specific to many companies in the markets. Now, how do we support all of this? In fact, we have been working on the two major streams. One, which has been really to develop standard approach and tools that we can really monitor and review in all our plans. And the second element is how to build this CI leadership, is meaning that how we can really make the difference in terms of people competence, skills, and also behaviors. Coming back to the foundations, and you will see afterwards the link with digital. There are a couple of elements that we are currently accelerating thanks to digitalization. The first one is on the top left, is the digitalization of what we call performance routines, is meaning that how do we lead and how do we track performance on the daily basis. There is also one very important element that can be strongly improved through digitalization. This is how we are accelerating on the problem solving. And the 2 last elements that are also very important and that can also be digitalized. Here we see some boards from one of our factory. This is about visual management and zoning, and also there are today applications and solutions that can also support Gemba work and coaching with also digitalizations. So coming to digital, I would like maybe to share with you one survey that I found very, very interesting. This is a survey from McKinsey that interviewed over 1,000 executives worldwide. And what is interesting to see is that 70% of the people interviewed think that digital, artificial intelligence and automation is or will be a key performance improvement driver for the future. So it's quite amazing to see that this area of digital is really an area where we need to continue to invest, and of course, I would say prepare the future with more automation and more simplification. Okay. The other key learning from this study, it's also a very high figure, as you can see here on the left, is that 85% of consumer goods companies that are already digital are planning to invest more. So this is really an area where I think there are plenty of opportunities that we need to catch up. We do see a lot of very good solutions, and we also see that some of them can really bring tangible benefits from a performance and a cost point of view. And there is here a very also interesting study from another consulting firm, which is Roland Berger, that is showing how Industry 4 can impact in overall efficiency in terms of operational levers. We see here different elements on cost, and we see that today Industry 4 can have quite significant impact on the very important cost drivers such as labor, manufacturing, quality, but also a topic which is today very challenging, which is energy, due to the strong increase of the energy cost, I would say, everywhere in the world, but also some other elements such as inventory or the reduction of, how can I say, water usage. So this is showing that companies really need to build a very clear digital roadmap to find new drivers of performance improvement. So at Bell, we have formalized a roadmap that is really also concentrated from a people-centric perspective, and that is supposed to meet with three different stakes. One is human, and what we want to do is make life of our operator easier. It's meaning that giving to people the data and the information they need to take the right decision in the right way, at the right time, and the most quickly as possible. Second element, it's about the technology, because we know that when we are managing complex processes, the capability we have to connect our equipment, to connect our processes, and to analyze data is very important to optimize those processes, and this all across the value chain. And there is a last stake, which is at the end economical. To come back to the benchmark I just shared with you earlier, is it at the end how this is improving our cost, how this is reducing our inventory cost, how this is reducing our stock, and how this is reducing our waste. When we look at also what we did on the digital, we have really strongly connected digital to lean standards and empowerment for a very simple reason, is that we think that digital is an enabler as soon as there is a minimum of maturity on lean. And therefore, there was for us a very strong connection to accelerate digital once the maturity from a lean manufacturing standpoint is there, because this is really where you can accelerate, when you can develop capabilities of people and at the end get the empowerment that you need. So we have divided, I would say, our roadmap into four different, let's say, pillars. The first one is maybe the most important, is digital workforce, is meaning that how we can optimize the workload and how we can deliver value to the operators in the job they are doing every day. So we are, I'm going to share with you a few examples, but this is really where we put a strong focus, because we think that this can really deliver performance on a day-to-day basis. There is a second topic which is connected to analytics that we have named intelligent manufacturing. This is the connections of all our equipments, not only processes, not only packaging, but also utilities. in order to get data, to analyze those data, and to go to some predictive analysis or optimization on the specific topics and subject. There is one element that we have called automatization, NVA, non-added value out. This is connected to robotics, but also cobots that we have also tested very successfully, but also elimination of administrative tasks that does not bring or does not deliver values. And there is one element which is connected also to the 4 challenges I already presented to you at the beginning, which is how to simplify flows and how to ensure that with digitalization and automation, we will get to more flexibility, especially on warehouse management, especially on the palletization, on HGVs that you see here on this picture. And also, we think that there is a strong connection between this and the fact that we will get more flexibility and more agility inside our factory. So these are the 4 elements, the 4 pillars that we are strongly investing in as part of our digital roadmap, connected to our lean manufacturing model. So at the end, we think that we can leverage improvement in our SNQ CDE model by implementation of a digital project that will support one of those 4 axes that I just explained to you. I can share with you one illustration. This is a solution that is today managing performance processes, that is managing today operation reviews. So this solution is currently tested in France and also in Slovakia. We strongly believe that this will support not only more effective visual management, but also will accelerate the capability to problem solving and the transfer of knowledge and competencies between the factories. And this is very much connected to our lean manufacturing model, and we are supporting it with this solution. There is another solution which is also extremely interesting, which is connected to plant simulation. It can be used, so it's a solution which is developed by Siemens. And it can be used either when we are building new plants, but also, and which is very interesting, in existing plants. So it's a simulation which is more or less a digital copy of the factory, with all the lines when we are addressing flows of product, flows of people, and so on. And we can simulate the impact of one element on the overall flow. Whatever it is, something to optimize direct labor, something to optimize the capacity, something to optimize the flow of the product. Something to debottleneck a factory in case, for example, there is an issue of a bottleneck in the factory that cannot support the business sales or growth. And it's extremely impressive, the benefits we can get from this kind of solution to simulate and to anticipate very important topic. For example, when we are building a factory, it's extremely important to make sure that the design of the warehouse will be enough, or that the flow will be optimized and we won't have any issue. That we will be able also to simulate the positions on the line and ensure some workload analysis on the operator position to optimize also operators number of positions on the machines. It's quite interesting. So we are quite happy also with this solution that we think can really help us to find also opportunities of improvement, again, for new factories, but also what we put here, what if scenario, what happens if I decide to do this, so we can simulate and make sure that we won't go in the wrong direction because we have been able to simulate this before. I think that's all what I wanted to share with you. It's 4:26, so there are 4 minutes if necessary for the questions. I cannot hear. You're on mute.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Strange. I haven't changed anything and it's just not working. So there are some questions in a chat. First was maybe Gerard, who is asking you, how deep do you go with simulation? How to decide which aspects to simulate?
So in fact, the simulation, we are using it in two different, let's say, areas. Number one, this is used when we are building new plants. So from a purely optimization standpoint, from let's say a plant design, but we plan also to use it on existing plants in order to optimize product flow inside the factories. So we want to use it as well to optimize the flow of the product to get this this higher agility and flexibility that I was mentioning at the beginning inside our factories. It's a solution which is not very expensive and quite impressive in terms of output.
Mm-hmm. I see interesting question from Barry, and I know we had a lot of internal discussions about it. Did you need to add staff to support this? It's a big question for all the companies.
Yes, what we have been doing is that we have merged at Bell. We have merged lean manufacturing and digital together. For a very simple reason is that we are doing all of this to improve our lean management program and also to improve our operational efficiency. So in fact, we have combined roles, but of course, we cannot enter to digitalization and Industry 4 with no resources. There are a minimum, let's say, of resource to put. But I would say before putting resources, there is a question that we need to ask ourselves: why are we going to digital? What is exactly the vision? Why are we doing all of this? And it's something that we need to ask ourselves before putting any resource.
Mm-hmm. And Pavel is asking, what programs do you use to visualize and simulate the factory and production lines?
What problem?
What programs? Yes.
I mean, this is not, they are not programs. I mean, we have this solution that I have already presented during the presentation, but this is more about problem-solving techniques that we are using on the shop floor to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm. Great, and we still have 1 minute. So Madhu is asking, do you use value stream level averages and variances to simulate flow?
Yes, absolutely. We did one value stream a few weeks ago in the USA. Absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm. And very connected question is coming from Barry. Do you use traditional tools to verify simulations?
It's too early to say because we are starting. But of course, we will double check what the digital is telling us. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you. We are out of the time. It's very interesting topic, I'm sure. And if you would be so kind, Yannick, please check the questions in Q&A and also in chat. There are some residual questions and answer by typing.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.